What is up, guys? Phaedo82 coming at you with a video taking a look at the graphics overhaul in Rust. Proud to bring you this video. This has not yet merged with the main game, but if you want to check it out, you can do so by switching over to the pre-release branch and firing up one of your favorite Rust servers. In terms of Rust, it's going to look very familiar, but it's also going to look eerily different very soon. The trees specifically will look different. The crappiest looking trees, the ones that didn't look that great, have been thrown out, keeping only the best tree models. So when seeds now generate, they will use only the best looking tree models, which will help to make the environment a lot more aesthetically pleasing and just adds to the overall character. The biome that's going to pop the most for you guys is going to be the forest biome. It feels a lot denser, it feels more prehistoric, and it feels in some ways like Legacy. I feel like this shot in particular really captured a feel of Legacy. I really love the way that the forests were looking, and with those new trees and the density of this biome, it's going to be something, guys, that I think your jaw is really going to drop when you experience it for the first time. In terms of these trees, you might be seeing some of the same models over and over again, but as new ones are added in and only the best ones are kept, just imagine how this is really going to look, and can't wait to see even a jungle type biome developing soon. You might be noticing the lighting looks a bit different, and the lighting for all times of day and night have been redesigned from the scratch. So it's been overhauled completely, and that changes again how the biomes look, how they feel, and the spawn tables have been overhauled as well. So that means that bushes, rocks, trees, mushrooms, how they spawn, where they spawn, the quantity, the size, everything has been also put into place with this graphics overhaul. So that means the biomes will look more consistent. Things that should spawn in forests, like those red and white Amanita muscaria mushrooms, will be distinct to those forest biomes. They will be in those areas. They won't be spawning out in deserts, and things in deserts won't be spawning in forests. So the cacti that are in the desert will be specific to those biomes. Overall, this gives the individual biomes more of a distinct character. The tones have been redesigned for each of these areas, so it really does feel as though it's more pronounced when you're in the desert versus when you're in the forest, and then when you're in the sort of that grasslands biome as well. The weather has been revisited as well. You guys are going to notice that the fog is denser, the nights are darker. The rain seemed to be about the same as best I could tell, but maybe there have been some changes to that I just didn't get the chance to experience. But overall, everything just felt a lot better. Don't be too nervous about performance, guys. This will not be coming by way of diminished performance, so you'll be getting these graphics overhauls. It'll be looking better in Rust, but it won't be affecting your performance. It seemed actually to be increasing performance due to the way that some of these things were implemented, so you should be noticing some slight performance gains once this hits with the main server, which most likely should be sometime soon. Again, if you guys are in the desert and you need some cloth or water, you can go ahead and hit up some of the cacti. If you're willing to take some pain, you can get a bit of reward by doing so. The graphics overhaul to Rust isn't going to be a game changer in terms of the way that the game is played. When this merges with the main game, you won't be playing Rust any differently, but you will be experiencing it differently. Rust players spend a lot of time on the seeds, and in these biomes, from week to week, Rust players log a lot of hours. So when the biomes look differently, when the day-night cycles function differently, when the lighting happens differently, it really does change the way that players experience the game, not necessarily how they play the game. And that's a differentiation that you have to sort of make. A lot of talk is put on how the game is played when things happen. Players talk about how it affects a play style, how it affects a certain mechanic in the game, but we don't always talk about how Rust feels. And this is one of those patches where I think it's really going to be more about how it feels, and that's something we don't always really have the words for or don't define as much. But our hats really have to go off to the artists on this one, and it's going to be something, I think, guys, that your jaws are just really going to drop when you get out there for the first time and you're running around these forests. The footage doesn't always do it justice. So again, some of the things that you really want to keep in mind this week in Rust, there's some secrets I haven't shown you that you can discover on your own, but overall the fog is going to be denser, the nights will be darker, everything will be looking better. But one tip for you guys is there's going to be some tall patches of grass that will now be part of the new landscapes in Rust, the new graphics overhaul, and these tall patches of grass can hide a player even standing upright, so you really want to be wary around those locations. We'll show you one in a moment. So that's something, guys, that is a little bit of a tip for you. So definitely be careful in those areas because players will be popping out at you. It is Rust always, but there's going to be a few more spots to hide. That's one of the ones that we'll show you in the video. So as we go ahead and run up here, you'll notice this tall patch of grass here. It's a bit of wild grass. I thought it was reeds at first, but it's actually wild grass, it looks like. But as a player comes out here, didn't even see him there, comes raging out with a sword. And it's a place that is really going to be a place players can camp, and a place you definitely want to keep your eyes on. Alright guys, let me know what you think of these changes to Rust in terms of the graphics overhaul, what these new biomes are looking like to you. And when it hits the main game, let us know, guys, how it affected your performance in Rust. You shouldn't notice any diminished performance. Alright guys, as always, had a lot of fun making this Rust update video. Phaedo 82, peace.